Hello, my name is George Watts. I'm a British World Yoga teacher and creator of the Kids Yoga Lesson Planner. And today I'm going to do a short video tutorial going through the Cat Who Became a Lion lesson plan. This is one of the pre-filled Kids Yoga lesson plans within the Kids Yoga lesson planning kit. So you'll come to that if you've got the kit, you'll open up this document, and within it has all the planner, the getting started guide, all the tips and everything that you need to start creating kids yoga lesson plans. So I'm just going to scroll down to here where it says pre-filled yoga lesson plans, and I'm going to go to the Cat Who Became a Lion. So I'm just going to control left click on the mouse, and we'll get here. You can probably hear my puppy in the background. So this is just the theme, the aims and objectives. Then you can change those up if you want to, but the main theme here that I did for the class, these are all ones that I've used for my own classes. So this was the theme for building the confidence of a lion. So the cat who became a lion is a metaphor. So yes, let's get started on covering the lesson plan. I'm just going to quickly cover the lesson plan template, how it actually works, the columns. So there are 7 columns, and I'll just go through them one by one. Over here you've got the time, so this will be blank. I just put this here for an example. But say your class starts at 7 o'clock, and the first section here, the introduction, is for 2 minutes. You put 7 o'clock there, and number 2 there, and all the way down. So there's lots within the lesson plan. It goes all the way down. You can add those all the way down the lesson plan there. So I'm just going to take those away, and you don't have to put them there, but if you like to be really really organised and know exactly to the minute roughly, the lesson plan is always just a guide, but if you've got the minutes and the time section and you've got that filled out, you'll know pretty much how the class is going, and so you can finish on time. The next part here is the lesson content, the third column, and this is the just the whatever's going on here. I've got the introduction here. Next one is the eyes on me. So this is pretty important. I've got a bunch of these within the lesson planner that you can copy and paste in here, but these are what I call attention getters. So at the beginning of the class, I will teach the kids one of these attention getters. So when they get a bit chaotic and you need to get their attention, you'll just say one of these, and it's a great way of getting them to focus back on you and back on the yoga. And over here you've got the benefits column, and that's obviously just the benefits for the pose or whatever is going on, the introduction or whatever it is there. Stick figure, that's an obvious one, so that's just a representation of the pose or for this section. The video, not all of them will have videos. It's just the needs of video. There's a link to a video there. So this video, for example, because they're seated, is a video, a link to a YouTube video on seated pose for kids. And the last section here is what I call the map section. That's modifications, alternatives, and precautions. So yeah, that's the layout. And now I'm going to cover the handouts. So with each pre-filled lesson plan, there's several handouts. So I'm just going to cover them right now. So when you scroll down, they'll always be underneath the pre-filled lesson plan. So scrolling on down, and the first one is the simplification of the actual lesson plan. So if you obviously scroll up here, the lesson plan is quite long, so there's quite a few things going on there, and so to simplify it, say if you can, if you want to learn the lesson plan, you can print it out, take it around with you, and learn it. But then you can also bring it to class with you. But this is the kind of like the cheat sheet, if you like, of the lesson plan. So we've got that here, and this is the sequence from 1 to 12. And the next one here is lion breath. So obviously all the handouts are in keeping with the theme of the cat who became a lion. Next one, we've got the confidence of a lion, guided relaxation. So within the kit, there's an MP3 of the relaxation, and you can download it to your iPod or whatever you've got, if you've got something there, and you can take it to class and you can play it at the end of the class or at the beginning of the class if you want to. And also this is the printed version of that relaxation. And here we've got just a bunch of tips really, because this main one is an adaptation with the sun salutation. So I've got lots of kids sun salutation teaching tips for you, and there's quite a few there, and that's it. Just going to cover the relax audio that comes with the lesson plan. So it's an MP3 format, and I'm just going to click it for you. And you can just hear a little bit.
Relax a bit on your mat until you get really comfortable. That's it. Take a deep breath through your nose, right into your belly.
So that goes on for about 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes, in MP3 format. So I really recommend, if you don't already, have an iPod, you can put these things on your iPod, take it to class, get some speakers, and it's a really good effect. In this section, I'm going to take you through the actual rows of this particular pre-filled lesson plan. Each lesson plan will have a different amount of rows and sections. So let's get going. So here, this lesson plan has 19 rows and five parts to it. So if I just go through very quickly the overview here. Part 1 is preparing for the journey. So this is preparing. So each one of the lesson plans is like a mini epic adventure, if you like. So here I prepare the kids for the journey that they're about to embark upon. The second part here, part 2, is getting to know the individual asanas. So this is sort of like the yin section where we're learning the poses before we do the yang flowing section. And part 3 is helping Addy find his confidence. So the main character of this lesson plan is Addy, and he's a little young lion, and he's got the confidence of a cat to begin with, a sort of meek cat, and we're trying to get the lion out of him. So that's that part. Number 4 is really, you can just, it's a very simple one here. You can repeat that. So essentially, what part 3 is a version of sun salutations for kids, and you can repeat that as many times as you want to during the class. Some of you might be doing a 20-minute class, a 30-minute class, a 40-minute class. Normally you don't want to go more than 30 minutes for a class, but it's entirely up to you. And the last part here is learning the art of being calm. So this is where they get into the relaxation section of the lesson plan. Now I'm going to go through the lesson plan as if, just imagine I've printed this out, it's in my back pocket, and now throughout the day I'm getting it out and I'm looking through the lesson plan, just visualising the lesson plan, reading it, visualising myself teaching it. So that's my formula, that's how I sort of train myself. I come from an amateur dramatics background, and we learn by repetition and using our imagination. Also, I come from a golfing background, and we used visualization to visualize the golf course before a tournament, and that was very powerful. And I do the same thing when I'm preparing for a class. So I'll get the lesson plan out, unfold the lesson plan, and read it, and then visualize that section. So let's get started. Oh, Addy, you scared me. Well, now that you're here, you can help me through the lesson plan. To help you with the visualization, on the back now, you should see behind me, I've got a nice savannah scene, and I've got a weird looking, funky lion there. And that's the lion there is one of the characters within the ABC Yoga card deck, which is one of the bonuses within the Kids Yoga Lesson Plan kit. So there's 26 high quality images that you can use, that you can print out, laminate, and then make great props for a kids yoga class. So yeah, so let's get started. So Colin, now just imagine I've printed out the lesson plan and I'm reading through it, and now I'm just going to visualize. After reading through it, I'm going to do a little, close my eyes, just visualize myself teaching it. So the introduction, which is the first column here on the lesson plan, and here's me talking through it. Hello everyone, my name is George. This is your place for yoga, stories and fun. It's easy. Just copy the moves I do and enjoy the adventure. We're going to start by crossing our legs and sit on our yoga mats. If you don't have a yoga mat, imagine you're sitting on one. So after we've done the introduction, which is the first row of the lesson plan, we're on to the second row, which is what I call the attention getter. So on this lesson plan, we've got, I'm using the eyes on me attention getter, and the reason I call it that is because obviously during a class, a kid's class, there's going to be moments throughout the class where the kids kind of lose their focus and get distracted and it gets a little bit chaotic. That's part of the class. But you've got to be able to take control back, and this is where you use one of these attention getters, and this is one of several. You could use ones where you're clapping your hand to get their attention, and when you clap your hand, they know, or that means stop and look at you. Could be you've got a bell, you ring the bell, that means to them stop what they're doing, look at you, pay attention. But this one is eyes on me. So I'll just go through this, and again I'm just reading it. Just imagining this is a new lesson plan, and just reading it over and over again to get a feel for it, and then visualizing, always visualizing at the end to see myself there in the class teaching this part of the lesson. So here we go. Whenever I say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, you say 1, 2, 3, eyes on you, with your faces turned towards me and looking at my eyes. So I'll say that over and over again to get more of a feel for it, and then close my eyes and keep saying it quietly in my mind. Now on row number 3 of the lesson plan, this is where I get the kids to say namaste, and this is the magic word to turn their yoga mat into a magic flying yoga mat. So you could do whatever you want to here, but this is for me. This gets them their imagination's more involved, and it's like a little mini epic story for them. So so here it is. So again, I'm just going to read it. We're going to say the magic words to turn your yoga mat into a magic mat. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. And just bow the head. And then I'll just say, you don't have to do this every time, but I just say what namaste actually means. So I'll then say, when we greet one another with namaste, the folded arms placed before the chest means may our minds meet. The bowing down of the head is a gracious form of extending friendship in love, respect and humility. So that's row number 3. We're now on row number 4, and this is where I introduce the main character of the lesson plan. This is Addy the lion. So yeah, let's get going. Today we're going to meet Addy the lion. So within the lesson plans, you'll see I've put some actions that you've got to take. Will be bracketed in purple writing. So I've got here hands up and give a loud roar. So roar. But unfortunately, he lost his confidence and thinks he's a scaredy cat. Again, this part's in purple, which means an action. So the purple says crouch down and make mouse sounds. So you can go me 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 me. You can crouch really low on the floor and do that. So let's help him find his confidence. So that's the end of row 4. Now on row number 5, and here I'm just introducing a breathing technique, and it's appropriately the lion breath. So just reading through it. As we're going to meet Addy the lion, we're going to learn to breathe like a lion. And then in purple writing here, this is an action. You always know purple means you come to an action. And I've got lion breath here. So I've got also the teaching directions on how to teach lion breath, but I'm not going to go into that now. So lion breath, pretty simple one. You just looking up, tongue as far down as possible, eyes looking up at the ceiling as far as possible, and you're going ha, ha. So that's lion breath. And now we're on to part 2 now. After this, it's going to be getting to know the individual asanas. So in part 2, what you can do is just go through the Sun Salutations handout that comes with the lesson plan. So this is obviously an adaptation of Sun Salutation for kids. So if you wanted to, you can just go through the normal Sun Salutations using the handout, and you can just print that out and just go through that as normal. Or you can just, I mean, that will prepare you for the next part, which is creating a story out of the Sun Salutation sequence. So it's up to you, your preference. You could go straight into part 3 and skip part 2 and just do that. But if you wanted to, in part 2, you can go through the Sun Salutation poses normally, one by one, teaching them. And then once they've got to know the poses within that fairly well, you could then maybe incorporate the story, which is part 3. So let's get on to part 3 right now. So the first row on part 3, which is this part of the story, is helping Addy find his confidence. So all of this part 3 is going to be all the poses within Sun Salutations. So the first pose, position number 1, is Namaste. So I'll just read through it. Okay, let's say the secret code to activate our magic mats. Ready? Namaste. Well done, everyone. We're all flying through the sky on our yoga mats. Keep your eyes focused ahead on the lookout for Addy the lion. Remember, he needs our help to find the confidence he has lost. It's a bit difficult to see sitting, so let's get up on our feet. Stand up really tall and feel as if there's glue under your feet that keeps you from falling off your magic flying mat. Now feel as if you're growing taller. Stand up tall, shoulders back, feet together, palms together in front of chest, over your heart. And that's row number 1, part 3. We're on part 3, row number 2, and this is position 2 of the Sun Salutations, and I call this, this is raised arms, but I call this happy. So this is a happy pose. Remember, we're keeping it with a kids, making it more appealing to kids here. So I'll just read through it. Wow, it's worked. I see Addy the lion. So now I've got the purple writing, so this is the action. So we stretch our arms overhead, shake hands, and put a really big smile on our faces. So we stretch the arms up, big smile. So let's go down and say hello. And that's row number 2, part 3. We're now on part 3, row 3, and so this is position 3 of the Sun Salutations, and call this gorilla. Normally this is forward bend, call it gorilla. So I'm just going to read through it. To bring our mats down on the ground, we need to touch the mat with our hands. So in purple here I've got forward bend, and so now we just obviously just go into a forward bend. We're now on part 3, row 4, and this is part 4 of the Sun Salutations. This is for adult yoga, it would be right leg back in the classic runner pose. We're going to call this lion running pose. So I'll just read from it. Oops, we've landed a long way from Addy the lion. He's way over there. Let's run over to him. So in purple writing now I've got the action, which is right leg back. So right leg back. Okay, ready, let's run. And now again in purple writing I've got stay in the pose for several seconds with head looking straight ahead at Addy. So here you're in classic running pose and looking straight ahead. We're on part 3, row 5 now. So this is part 5 of the Sun Salutations, and I call this down lion instead of down dog, instead of downward facing dog. So let's get straight into it. I'll just read from it. Well done, you've reached Addy the lion. Let's greet him with an ancient lion greeting. Downward lion. So this is in purple now. The action is down lion. So you know to get into down lion pose. Give a really loud roar, and the action here is lion breath. So you say do lion breath. You can go. Next part here, and wag your tail. So while they're in the downward facing dog, or what we call here down lion, they can wag their bottoms to the side. And next part, oh dear, with all that waggling you need a wee. So in purple again, the actionable part here is lift the right leg up and bring it down. So you're lifting it up as if, you know, like a dog or a lion going for a wee. And oh dear, we need to wee some more. So again, the purple actionable writing is lift the leg up, so the opposite leg, and then bring it down again. So you can do that a few times if you want to. This normally gets obviously some giggles going. And then at the end you can say, ah, that feels better. We're now on part 3, row 6, the 6th part of the sun salutation. I call this Scaredy Cat instead of the 8 limbs salutation. So here we go, let's just read. Oh dear, Addy the lion was scared by your roar and is trembling on the floor. And now here in purple, which is the actionable part, is so you just get into the 8 limbs salutation. So you get into Scaredy Cat pose, which is you bend your knees to touch the floor, bend the elbows until the chest and chin are touching the floor. So you're in that 8 limbs pose. And that's it. We're now on part 3, row 7, the 7th part of the sun salutations. So let's get to it. I'll just read from it. It's okay, Addy. It's and then you just say whatever your name is. It's George and my amazing friends. Phew. Addy has recognised my voice and looks up to see us. So in purple here I've got now the actional part here is you do upward lion, which is upward facing dog. We're on part 3, row 8, so the 8th position of the sun salutation. Let's read it. So Addy greets us with the ancient lion greeting. In purple is down lion, so downward facing dog. So you go into downward facing dog, down lion pose. But is unable to roar because he's lost his confidence. On part 3, row 9, let's get to it. This is what I call lion running pose, where the left leg goes back into the running pose. So let's go for a run and look for his confidence. And in purple here, remember purple is the actionable item. Stay in the pose for several seconds, so we're just staying in the runner pose here for several seconds. We're on part 3, row 10 now. This is gorilla, back to the forward bend. So I'll just read it through. Wow, well done, you found it. It's down there by your feet. Let's get it. And in purple, the actionable item is gorilla, so we go into gorilla pose. Gorilla pose is just a little version of the forward bend, where you've got the palms go underneath the palms of the hands go underneath the feet. And so let's go. Wow, it's really heavy. So obviously, when your palms of your hands are underneath the feet, you've got that leverage there, and you can pull up from your hands, and you've got the leverage of your feet keeping the hands down, so you can really feel as if you're trying to lift something really heavy there. So obviously a lion's confidence, the symbolism there is that it would be very heavy because it's quite big, a lion's confidence. And so that's it's a good one there. So you can go really trying to struggle to lift the confidence up, and you're just pulling against your own weight. In part 3, row 11. So let's read it. And this is we're back to the happy pose, arms raised overhead. So here I've got in purple is the action item. So raise up Addy's confidence over your head with a really big smile and say, "Hey Addy, I found your confidence." We're on part 3, row 12, which is the last section of part 3. So let's get to it. So the last part of the sun salutation here is obviously coming in prayer, finishing in prayer. Namaste over the heart. So let's read. Let's give Addy the confidence. So, and in purple here, I've got arms forward. So your arms will be up, and then they'll come forward, and you're giving Addy his confidence. Let's continue reading. Addy takes the confidence in his hands and brings it into his heart. So there's where you then bring the hands here over your heart. And says, "Thanks, you're amazing." Addy now has so this is now where you're ending the class, and this you can tell a little sort of poignant message. Addy now has the heart of a lion, and because you've helped him, you will forever be lion-hearted and filled with confidence, because you can't help someone without also helping yourself. To show his thanks and to show his newfound confidence, Addy gives you a really loud roar. And in purple here, the actionable item, I've got lion's breath. So you just go, and that's it. You completed part 3. And part 4 is just repeating that as many times as you wanted to. You might only need to do that once. You could do the story, do it 2 or 3 or 4 times, depending on how long your classes are. Part 5 is learning the art of being calm. So here, there's only a couple of columns here to finish, or a couple of rows here to finish up on. I've got lion relaxation, and I've got a relaxation handout that you can then read through it while they're in Savasana, so they'll be lying down. You can read through that as you're going, or I've got whatever you're reading through there. There's an MP3, an audio format of that handout, so you could either read through it yourself, or you could just bring your iPod in, have some speakers, and press play, and you can do it that way. Also, at the very end, the very last row is Namaste. So we get the kids at the end of the class just to get them into Namaste. So I'll just read this to finish up on. Bring hands together and say Namaste. And do that, and then I'll just finish with another little recap. Well done, everyone. What a great kindness you did for Addy. And remember, because you've helped him, you will forever be lion-hearted and filled with confidence, because you can't help someone without helping yourself. And then at the end here, I've got a little actionable one, and to finish off, you can, for a laugh, you can do lion's breath just to finish up on. So you can go. I hope you enjoyed that lesson plan, and you might be thinking, that's quite a complex or quite an in-depth lesson plan, and you'd be right. Within the Kids Yoga lesson plan kit, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of games, and these are very quick, simple games that you can do that are pretty effortless. And I'll just show you, some here. So you scroll down here, and there's loads and loads of these games that you can go into. They're very quick, very easy. But also, what you'll get with this as well, with the lesson plan, to make it really easy for you as well. I think once you've practiced it a few times and visualized it, it'll be pretty straightforward. But also to make it super duper easy, you'll also get an MP3 of the lesson plan. So what you can do, if you've got an iPod, you can just take the MP3 of this lesson plan, bring it to class, click play, and use it as an aid, a prop during the class. So as it's going through, you can then do the actions and follow it through. So there'll be me talking through going through the class very slowly, and you can just follow along. So really, really, really simple, and that'll be a good practice aid for you anyway, where you can just have that there. You can obviously look at this video as a guide, but then just listening to the MP3, the audio, and just practicing with that audio is a really good way of learning as well. So I really hope that helps. If you've got any questions, just send me an email or give me a call. Go to my website. My website is georgewatts.org, and good luck.